In the heart of a bustling city, where the rush of life swept through crowded streets and towering buildings, there sat a beggar on a worn patch of pavement. To passers-by, he was just another face in the sea of need. A man with a threadbare jacket, a battered tin cup, and eyes that silently pleaded for spare change. Yet beneath the surface, this beggar possessed something far more valuable than coins. He harbored an extraordinary way of thinking and a determination that burned brighter than the city lights. His name was Arun. Each morning as the city awoke, Arun would position himself on the same corner, watching the world unfold around him. People came and went, their faces etched with worry, ambition, or indifference. Some dropped coins into his cup, barely glancing his way. Others quickened their pace, eyes fixed ahead, as if hoping that by ignoring him, they could pretend poverty did not exist. But Arun was different from what most assumed. He was not born to this life. Once, he had dreams as vivid as anyone's. A family, a career, a home filled with laughter. Life, however, is unpredictable. A series of misfortunes, compounded by ill health and betrayal, had stripped Arun of everything familiar. Yet even as his world crumbled, he clung to one truth. The only thing he truly owned was his mind. While others saw a beggar, Arun saw himself as a student of life. He observed the flurry of the marketplace, the rhythm of footsteps, the snippets of conversations floating by. He noticed the kindness in a mother's smile as she guided her child, the frustration in a businessman's hurried stride, the loneliness in the eyes of a young woman who walked alone. Arun realized that everyone, regardless of their wealth or status, faced invisible struggles. One evening, as twilight draped the city in hues of gold and purple, a little boy approached Arun. His name was Rohit, and unlike most, he did not avert his gaze. Instead, he sat beside Arun, legs folded, curiosity shining in his eyes. "Why do you sit here every day?" Rohit asked softly. Arun smiled, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "I sit here to learn," he replied. Rohit frowned. "But you have nothing. How can you learn anything?" Arun gestured to the world around them. "Everything teaches, if you're willing to listen. Watch the people, their joy, their pain, their kindness, and their indifference. Every person is a story, and every story is a lesson." Rohit was puzzled. He had been taught to look away from beggars, to see them as cautionary tales or burdens on society. Yet here was Arun, speaking of hope and learning. The boy returned every evening, and together they watched the world. Arun shared what he saw: the importance of gratitude, the power of resilience, and the beauty of small acts of kindness. "Change your mind, and your life will change," Arun often told Rohit. "Even if your circumstances remain the same, how you see them can transform your experience." Rohit took these lessons to heart. He started noticing the people around him, offering a smile or a kind word where he could. He realized that happiness did not come from what he possessed, but from how he thought and acted. Word spread about the wise beggar on the corner. Some dismissed it as a child's fantasy, but others grew curious. Soon, adults began to stop and listen. A shopkeeper, burdened by debts, found solace in Arun's words. A young woman struggling with loneliness found comfort in his gentle encouragement. Day by day, Arun's corner became a place of quiet transformation. One day, a wealthy businessman paused before Arun. He looked tired, his posture weighed down by invisible burdens. "I have everything money can buy," he confessed, "but I am not happy. How do you with nothing find contentment?" Arun smiled kindly. "You see only what I lack, but I see what I see, my thoughts, my hope, my ability to help others, even in small ways. True wealth is not in possessions, but in perspective." The businessman was silent, reflecting on Arun's words. He realized that his relentless pursuit of success had blinded him to the simple joys of life. He began to change, making time for his family, helping others in need, and finding gratitude in everyday moments. As seasons turned and years passed, Arun's impact rippled through the city. People began to treat each other with more compassion. The beggar's corner became a symbol, a reminder that even in the darkest circumstances, a change in mindset could light the way to a better life. Arun's story spread beyond the city. He was invited to share his teachings with schools, organizations, even government officials. But Arun always returned to his corner, refusing offers of wealth or comfort. "I am needed here, where people forget to look for hope," he would say. In time, Arun's health began to fade, but his spirit remained undiminished. On his final day, the city gathered around him. Rohit, now a young man, knelt by his side, tears glistening in his eyes. "Thank you, Arun," he whispered. "You changed my life." Arun smiled, his voice soft but clear. "Remember, the greatest power you have is your mind. Nurture it with hope, feed it with kindness, and you will find light even in the darkest times." When Arun passed, the city mourned, but his legacy endured. His teachings lived on in the hearts of those he touched. Rohit, inspired by Arun's wisdom, started a foundation to help the homeless, focusing not just on their needs, but on restoring their sense of dignity and hope. And so, the story of the beggar with extraordinary thinking and determination became a beacon for all who heard it. It reminded them that while circumstances may be beyond our control, our mindset is always ours to shape. Change your mind, and your life will change. A lesson as powerful as it is simple, echoed in the quiet wisdom of a man who had nothing, yet gave everything. In a world that often measures worth by material success, Arun's story stands as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. It teaches us that with the right mindset, even the humblest among us can change lives, starting with our own.